rivalry dynamic and playing the next round?
Yeah, well, I mean, probably until last year, really. I mean, our head-to-head was pretty close. You know, and last year was a tough year for me, especially the first 6-7 months. But yeah, I mean, he's obviously a top player, especially on this surface. He's played extremely well here in the past, and you know, he'll be totally fresh as well and ready for the semi. So it'll be a tough one for me, but I feel like I've played well this week, and you know, if I can keep that level up for a sustained period on Saturday, I'll have a chance.
You talked about last year was a tough year for you. Do you feel like you're starting to get that form you were in 2013?
Yeah, I think like the Australian Open, I played some great tennis. I mean, although I didn't win the final, it was I was pretty much there in terms of the level that I was playing at. So I would say my tennis is where I would like it to be. Obviously, I've struggled here in the past, but so far I've played some good tennis here, so that's also a positive for me. And yeah, the goal is obviously to try and in these events to maintain a level of consistency that, you know, allows me to get to the latter stages and compete against the best players more often.
Andy, when you're coming off of a major surgery, do you recall which came faster for you, the physical or the mental side of just letting yourself go to play again?
I would say the physical for me. I mean, the two are quite closely linked in my opinion. But you know, when I came back, you know, I was still having issues with my back. My back was still sore. The rest of my body was, like in Australia, for example, I actually played quite well in Australia. But when I played against Roger, my body was just incredibly stiff and sore, and you know, wasn't able to, I don't know, handle sort of best of 5 set match at that level. And yeah, it clearly took me time to get back physically and get my speed back and my anticipation, and then yeah, also just to trust my back again. And I don't think I really felt confident until towards the latter stage of last year in my body. So that's been a big plus for me.
Manarino in the last round and Lopez this round are very different players. You know, Manarino hits low and flat balls, Lopez's spin and size and net play. How difficult is it to adapt, you know, from match to match from two different players compared to, you know, maybe two similar players?
Yeah, I think I mean, that's one of the biggest challenges in tennis, I think, compared with other sports, is that you can play, you know, I played today obviously against a lefty with a single-handed backhand who hits, you know, maybe 90% slice backhands, and then, you know, in 2 days' time I play against someone completely different, you know, who's right-handed, you know, hits over pretty much every single backhand, is, you know, a great returner, and it's something that yeah, you need to be able to make adjustments to your game and your tactics. And you know, I've played matches in the past where one day I've played against, I remember at the US Open one year I played against Dustin Brown, and then in the next round I came out and I literally played awful. It was, I'd completely lost my rhythm and found it very difficult to get my rhythm back. So it's yeah, it's a big challenge in this sport, and something that I'd say that the top players in the world do extremely well.
And on this surface, with these balls in these conditions, how do you see that playing out as you and Novak take it for the semifinal? How much impact will that have?
I mean, the conditions today were very different to what they were yesterday. I mean, it was very breezy on the court today, and you know, if it's like that, that obviously changes the way that you play the match. also at 11 a.m. it is significantly cooler. Ball's not as lively and bouncing as high, so it really depends what the weather's like when we get out there. But you know, if it's anything like it has been, you know, in the sort of mid 80s, low 90s, it's it's going to be a tough physical match. You know, they're quite slow courts, so it's hard to finish points. And you know, in these conditions, when it's this hot, you know, you play a few long rallies, it's tough. So I expect that to be the case on Saturday.
And can you just discuss your decision to go back to Washington this year and why? Because obviously you made the final there in '06 and haven't been back since. So wondering why this year?
Yeah, there's, I mean, a couple of reasons, because I hadn't felt like I'd played particularly well in Canada the last few years, and you know, I felt maybe when I was younger, I could take how my body I felt worked anyway. I could take a 5-week break and then start playing matches again and feel fine straight away. Whereas now, I feel like if I hadn't played any matches and I take a 5-week break, my body is sore and stiff. So I wanted to try something a bit different this year, and yeah, I enjoyed the tournament when I was there. It was also very tough physical conditions there, extremely humid and hot. So you know, it'll be also good to get matches in those conditions with the US Open a few weeks away.
Is it tough though with the 2 back-to-back Masters right after that? Because Washington, they haven't had any of the big 4 guys there for, I guess, since you, but that was sort of before you were in that ranking strategy.
Yeah, I think you know, as well, there's a new the new rule that you can miss a Masters series now and not have, you know, 0-pointer on your ranking as well. So if things were to go well in Washington and Canada, or one of the two, then would mean that I would have the option to miss Cincinnati potentially. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Andy, you just mentioned the Australian Open, and I haven't seen you since then. How long did it take you to get over the loss this time?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, it's not. I don't know if it was a number of days or not. I mean, I was quite pumped to get back on the practice court after the Aussie Open this year, and actually felt, you know, okay when I got to Rotterdam and stuff. Obviously, didn't actually. I felt like I played a couple of good matches, and then a not so good one against Gio. But I felt fine when I was there. I practiced well, and you know, didn't feel like mentally I was sort of dwelling on the Australian Open, which was good. So it's a matter of days probably.
Did you? Sorry, go on.
Any other questions to your schedule at the beginning?
Yeah.
Today, ahead of the French Open, could you just in a few words say what made you take that decision?
Well, pretty much every year since I had been on the tour, I don't remember playing a smaller clay court event. I always played Monte Carlo, maybe Barcelona, and then Madrid and Rome. So I'd never played any of the smaller events, and you know, I always felt like with the clay that I needed matches, and also because I'm getting married, it's a good chance that I won't be in Monte Carlo, and yeah, will be quite a long period from Miami through until would have been a long period from Miami through until Madrid to not play a match. So it seemed like a good move, and I'd been to Munich before when I was much younger, and I really liked the city. It was nice, unbelievably clean city, and yeah, I've heard it's a nice tournament. Just the weather sometimes can be tough there. So I'm looking forward to it.
How did you enjoy the radio work?
Yeah, I mean, I've done bits and pieces on the radio before, but they have a nice it's a nice spot up there to watch the matches from, and yeah, I think Russell's in here somewhere. Maybe there he is over there. He's obviously very good at what he does, and yeah, I enjoyed it.